Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Leader's Edge. And tonight, we will have a special show for you because our topic for tonight is leadership skills for change management. And our guest is none other than Angelina Lynn Mukhi. She is the Vice President of PMAT, and tonight she will be interviewed by one of our regular hosts, Jet Ramos. And here is their show.
Hi, Jeff. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here. It's a wonderful opportunity to share with everyone what I've learned through the years about leading through change. And it's very relevant to our situation right now. I'm sure a lot of us are facing our COVID pandemic has descended upon the world just like that with no preparation available to us. And we're really leading through change on crisis mode right now. So
I'd like to learn more from you as well as our viewers tonight.
So what I can do,
Excited.
what I can do is I can share a few slides as we go along. But hey, this is a conversation, right? It's a learning session for
Yes,
all
it
of
is.
us listening to us tonight. So ask your questions. Let me share and hear from your experiences as well. This is a learning session for all of us to share about our life.
Yes, and please, since this is a show that is interactive, leave a comment below, your questions, your suggestions. Again, the magic word is comment.
I called the title of my sharing Leadership and Change Management, and I'm happy to be here representing People Management Association of the Philippines, wherein I am Vice President for this year. You know, I'm sure all of you have led in situations in corporate life, in your organizations where you serve, wherein you are confronted with a situation wherein there is rapid change and you need to respond very quickly. And I've always said, you know what? When you lead change, lead with a strong vision. We've heard this from so many different authors, so many different speakers: mission, vision, and values. Vision is at the center, at the core, and it inspires us and it gives us direction on where are we leading towards as we go through the change process and the change roadmap. You know what? I don't know. How do you respond normally, Jet, when you're confronted to change? I've always said, you know what? It can be an exciting time. Marcia Sinatar, a well-known author, have once said, you know, change can either challenge or threaten us. It's our beliefs that pave the way, whether we succeed or we freeze and we feel blocked by circumstances.
Yeah.
Some people, you know, the fight or flight response, some people seek change and they're like, I'm ready to go. You know, what am I going to do? I'm going to confront this and take action. Some people just freeze. I'm like, shock, trauma. Okay, what's going on? And I freeze, feeling very threatened. How does it normally go for you, Jet? And I'm going to share with you how it normally goes for me.
Well, frankly, I get panic attacks. I feel so anxious, but after my friends and coworkers and other co-professionals reassure me that everything's going to be okay, you know, I pray, and after that, things become better. Well, I'm quite an optimist, but sometimes I can be a pessimist, especially when some change are threatening at first. But as I go along, I keep on believing. I eventually believe 100% that God is there, but the action is much better coupled with faith. So
Right. Yeah.
I guess I'm faring much better than before.
Yeah. So you obviously are aware of how you normally respond. It becomes your way.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's your way of being. You know,
Yes.
the leader's way of being leads to the quality of the results that we achieve. Like you mentioned, you obviously are the reflective type. You may freeze or you may feel threatened for a while, but you're like, okay, after you reflect and you gather your emotions together, it leads you to take action in a more positive, more optimistic mode. And this is exactly what I mean when I say it's the leader's way of being. We have our unique ways by which we define how we are, how people perceive us. And this leads to the quality of the results that we achieve in the leading change. Not always just in terms of the quality of the output, it's also the quality of the process, how people feel when they're around us. It comes from how we respond, which is influenced by our mindset. How you see things. Do I see this as a threat? Do I feel capable? That comes with our emotions. And most often than not, when the emotions are negative, like feeling threatened, feeling afraid, that's when we need to do a reset so that we can calibrate and we can say, okay, this is not a positive emotion and it impacts the others around me. So as I take action, let me reset my emotions and restart, because what you do leads to the quality of the results that you achieve. You know what I've noticed? Most leaders, especially those who are very dominant, tend to respond very quickly and then they take action, forgetting that there's the emotion part in between, and they may not be aware of the emotions of the people around them as well. And so people get stressed, people feel overwhelmed by the actions that need to be taken. On the other hand, there are leaders, if the natural way of being is being very reflective, you can be very, interactive, processing how people around you feel, how you feel, forgetting that, hey, you got to take action. It's not just reflecting, but action is important. So I'd say respond with a positive mindset, reset your emotions, and then take action, because that influences the quality of the results you get. The key, really, I would say, to the ability to change is having a changeless sense of who you are, what you are about, and what you value. And this is a quote from Stephen Covey, very famous author. We need not be concerned that as we go through change, we may be less than authentic. We may not reflect fully who we are and our full range of capabilities because we're adapting to the environment. What I've always found useful is when you're clear about what you value, then you are able to say, okay, this is me, and this is how I will respond to the change. Myself personally, there are three values that I've always found. I'd say this is how I am. I
Hmm.
think of grace, competence, and courage.
Courage.
Grace in terms of being able to accept the situation, the people that I work with, knowing that we are, imperfect human beings. We make mistakes along the way. In a fast changing situation, we may not have time, no templates to really look at what's the right way to approach this. And some decisions may be less than perfect. Grace is
Ooh.
about being able to go through all of this with calm acceptance so that we don't raise panic around the people around us and we don't panic ourselves.
Yeah, I'm on most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I also feel
And
that
I'm learning.
when we're aware of our competencies, that's why I said my next value is keep going for improving our competencies. When we come from a sense of being competent, capable, that allows us to say, I am empowered, I am enabled, I know I can deal with this. So grace, competence, and then courage to say, I may not have all the answers now, I may not be able to define everything yet, but I'm going to get there because I know that I can think things through. And with that, we don't need to freeze. We don't panic, but we say, I'm going to go through this with poise, with grace, with calm acceptance, and with clarity in terms of how I need to proceed in dealing with the change. So let me repeat that. The key to ability to change is a changeless sense of who you are, what you are about, and what you value. There's fear, right? There's always fear, when things change and sometimes we don't know exactly how the situation will pan out. The vision really inspires us. But what keeps us going is really the will to work. And this is what brings out our finest, the best of our humanity, the best of our courage, having that will to work, confronting us in the midst of change, having that will to work so that we are able to continue inspired by our vision. This is a complex diagram, and I'd like to walk you through this if you're okay with it, Jet. You see, it's a function of over a period of time, our reaction to change
Sure.
evolves, right? You notice that this curve starts from the point of contact where we become aware of what is the situation facing us, all the way to here where we say, okay, I got this. I'm able to internalize, and whatever changes I am instituting, we're able to gain commitment. There are actually three stages that we go through: preparation, acceptance, and then commitment. The longest
Mm.
time frame is really from preparation to acceptance, because people can get
Why?
confused. Yeah, people can get confused, and this is where the emotional part comes in. Because we're very human. We need to work through those emotions at the point where we become aware of the challenges that are facing us. And when we're able to work through that confusion and we begin to understand the change, we drop the negative perceptions so that we're able to move towards a positive perception of what we need to do and what's the situation and how we need to mobilize people. And then that's where we get into commitment. Once we get into the commitment stage, see, it goes really fast because there are no more emotional blocks. Our fears have been addressed. We have found ourselves having that will to work, and we just kind of know, okay, let's get through this. These are the actions that we're going to take. Let me coach you through this. We'll help each other through. And that gets us to institutionalize as well as internalize the actions that need to be done. What do you think, Jet? Yeah.
Yeah. Based on what we discussed earlier about the three stages, you know, I think it's perfectly normal to sometimes take so long to prepare, and I realize that there's nothing wrong. At least it makes me go back to what I've done and what I can do to improve further. And so far in my line of work as a corporate communications person of our school, you know, it's it's making me more inspired, and I feel more supported by my colleagues. So I think I have to return the favor, and I guess I'm doing it. Yeah, but I have several questions. First, based on the three stages, could we determine how mature a leader is in every organization, how he or she responds to problems and changes in his or her organization?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because, in the midst of change, people need authentic, inspiring leaders, and this calls for maturity. We need to be coaches because it's coaching that supports people through the change roadmap. As you mentioned, when you share with people and you learn from them, it becomes easier to flow with the movement of change, being confident that you're taking action. So, more than being managers, managing is about, taking care of the tasks. More than just being leaders, wherein we take care of relationships. We merge these two sets of skills, managing and leading, when we coach. And coaching allows us to relate to people in a very authentic way so that we actually learn from each other. We help to bring out the best in people, and we make ourselves accessible, letting them know that I'm here for you, and I'm here to help you go through this, and I'm going to help you deal with it and bring out your best qualities as well. These days,
Another
well-being is so
question.
important, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I have another question, and it's for for all of us, yes, who are employees and managers and rank and file. Yeah. Could okay, could leadership also apply to even the lowest of employees, especially if they have suggestions? And why is there a tendency for managers and other upper people to denigrate people who have brilliant ideas, even though they're from the lower ranks?
Mm.
Those are
I
pressing
believe,
questions.
yeah, those are very important questions. I believe that leadership is a role that knows no rank levels. You can be a very young person simply just starting out in your career right now, but if you have the proper perspective, an appreciation of what it means to move people forward, starting with yourself, actually, you are a leader. And this is something that evolves as we get older, as we get more mature. The expectation is, as we mature and we gain more experience in organizations, our leadership perspective expands, and we're able to see more of the facets of the situation, the different considerations to take, knowing how to deal with different personalities. It
Hmm.
is not an act of leadership, as you say, when people in more senior positions look down and diminish the contribution and the potential of younger leaders. Leadership, especially when we're coaching people, is actually bringing out the best in them, not putting them down, not dismissing what they're able to bring to the room, to the effort. It's sad. Sometimes when we come from a space of lacking in terms of appreciation for the value that others bring, or perhaps our own insecurities. We want to stay in control. Some people have that need to look like, I've got this. I'm in control. Don't ask me questions. It's me who knows all the answers. That kind of perspective actually starts from a sense of insecurity. The need to
Oh,
show yourself,
insecurity.
yeah, the need to show yourself, I've got this. It sometimes comes out of fear because you don't want your mistakes or your shortcomings to become apparent to others, and so you put on a facade and make others feel less than you. That's
Yeah.
not an act of leadership. Leadership is about bringing out the best in others so that you're able to come up with the best quality of results, and at least
Quality
still
of result.
enjoy harmonious relationships, even joy. Joy is such a precious commodity these days. There can be joy in working together, joy in achieving results, joy in learning from mistakes. That's why I said grace is very important. It's acknowledging
Grace.
that we are all learners in the process of change, and
Yeah.
we are all learning from each other as well. Doesn't matter how old you might be, how old I might be, how much experience you might have, how much
Yeah.
experience I might have. It's all of us being together, putting our efforts. you know
Yes.
I just realized now that's why the acronym team, TEAM, actually
Mm-hmm.
stands for a very good guideline for how we deal with change. Can I make you guess what does TEAM as an acronym might mean or might stand for when it comes?
TAM.
Yeah, team. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I read it in in one of the posters at my high school. I think it is together everyone achieves more.
yeah, you got it. Yeah, together everyone achieves more, and that comes from a space of humility, right? That not one of
Yeah,
us has all the answers. Yeah, and
of course.
appreciating what everyone is able to contribute. And when you're dealing with change, there's no one really who can say, I've got this, and the leader has a roadmap, but that roadmap can also evolve through the process as you get inputs from others and you work together as a team. knowing that that's it. TEAM, together, everyone
Hmm.
achieves more.
Yeah, and there was somebody who said that grace is the grease that moves even the rustiest of motors.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Yeah, and when we operate from grace and that feeling that, we're together as a team, it gives a sense of harmony and it makes the process of dealing with change, no matter what pressures we face, it's lighter and we have a sense of well-being. Because when we
Yeah.
think of dealing with change, yeah, well-being is so important. We need to make
Hmm.
sure that we are able to take care of the well-being of the people that we work with. So we coach people through change, and at the same time, we make sure that we sustain well-being. In the midst of change, we want to keep people feeling energized. I think of well-being as a journey. This is a framework that I'd like to share. It's a framework that I use with one of the companies that I work with. Uh, when we call it, it's my wellness journey. It's about bringing my best self to work. It's a journey because we have different stages in life. Some people in their 20s may be stronger on the body, the physical dimension of wellness. But wellness is not just being about being fit, about being physically active. Wellness is about, the totality of being whole, body, mind, heart, and soul. And there are affirmations that help us really exercise that sense of wellness so that we're able to bring our best self in the midst of the situation that we are leading. When you say, I am energized, right? Doesn't that make you feel, hey, I'm good, I can do this? And when we talk about body, it's exercise, it's nutrition, it's rest. It's really about what energizes you so that you feel capable in your mind as well. And that's when the ideas begin to flow, creativity is unleashed, and you say, yeah, I can think of how innovation might take place in this situation. Let's give it a try, Jet. Tell me, how do you feel when you say, I am energized? Could you just say that I'm energized?
I am energized. Yeah, I
Right.
feel more confident. I feel more enthusiastic. Yes. Yeah, but before, because I was smoking and I was into so much unhealthy food. I
Mm.
would I would say instead of I'm energized, I need energen. But now I am energized even without
Yeah,
coffee,
yeah,
and I
right.
exercise
Um,
almost every day. Yeah, at the least 5 times a week. Yeah,
wow. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it makes a big difference.
yeah.
Sometimes we
That's why
wake
I
up in the
say I am
morning,
energized.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we wake up in the morning and we feel,
Hmm.
like we don't feel like getting up and getting into the action of the day. But you know what I've found out? The
Yeah.
moment I say, thank you, this is a beautiful day, I have one more day again by which I might live my purpose, where I can make a difference. And I say, I am energized. It makes me eager to face the day. And then I say, I am capable. Then I don't feel overwhelmed. You feel like I've got this. I have the skills, I have the competencies that I need to be able to deal with this situation. And it brings us to that sense wherein, I can make a difference. That is a spirit, that's an attitude that we begin to adopt, and we say, I have a sense of purpose on why I'm here to lead the situation. I can move forward with faith. It's not just me. I have people around me. I have faith that this situation is something that will help me to become a better person. And I can leave a legacy that really makes an impact on the people around me where I am right now. Could you work with me on that one, Jet? Can you just say, I am energized, I'm capable, and I live with purpose? And let's see how that feels.
Sure. Yes. Before I used to be, I am energized. I am capable. I live with purpose. But now it's, I am energized. I am capable, and I live with purpose.
All right. I like the way you said that. I live with purpose. You know, life is a gift,
Mm-hmm.
and we have just this one life by which we can make a difference, by which we can make an impact, a positive impact in the world in
Yes.
which we move. And that becomes our legacy. And when we think that way, we're not going to waste our day,
Yes.
just doing, nonsense things. We're not going to waste
Yeah.
our day moaning and whining about the difficulties we face, but we
Yeah.
can rise above the difficulties that we have confronting us and say, I
Yes.
live with purpose and I'm going to make an impact, a positive impact in this situation.
Yeah. Yes, and I've got some friends telling me that life should be a mystery, not a cemetery.
I love that. Yeah, life can be a mystery, not a cemetery. You know what? No matter how difficult the situation is, I'm sure there are wins, there are gains. There are little things that brighten up our day, achievements as we go through the road that we are traveling on. When we're going through a change process, there are quick wins. It's so important to celebrate small wins along the way. And when things are tough, we can look back and let happy memories uplift our spirits. Let the past inform the future. When you feel overwhelmed by the situation, recall your personal milestones, past achievements, which make you feel like, hey, if I was able to deal with that in the past and I've gotten to where I am now, I can deal with this. And that helps you to stay focused on sustaining performance. Let me ask you, Jet, when you think about one really major achievement that you're proud of, is there one that comes to your mind? I'm sure there are many, and you can feel free to share several. But when you think about
Yeah.
that's something that makes you feel like, okay, I can deal with other challenges in the future because I've had this success in the past. How does that work for you?
Yeah. Oh, last February, I remember the date. It was the 5th. I was the representative of our school, MFI Polytechnic. I'm the corporate communications associate, and I was with a director for our main campus. We received this award from Inquirer, a certificate of appreciation for being one of Inquirer's partner schools. Yes, and I was okay. I was so proud of myself because even though I shifted to the marketing department from the education department, the formal education programs, I began to discover a sense of purpose and that I could use my communication skills to help my school, not just to prop myself up because self glorification can do something, but doing something good for your school can do wonders and can eventually lead to more blessings. And I still remember that day and when I was still 15 pounds heavier. Yeah,
Well,
but
you see,
now I feel
yeah,
lighter. Yeah,
yeah, there
and
you
I
go.
realized that. Yeah, I realized that everyone loves me, so I love everyone back, and I nip envy and resentment in the bud. Although it was hard at first, I'm doing it, and all I can say is that I feel lighter and I feel more positive because it's not just about what you achieve materially, what you achieve professionally. It's also what you achieve emotionally and spiritually. Even though you may be at fault at times, at least well there's acceptance, and all I can say is that it's getting better and things will be much better. And
Yeah.
my boss who's Baptist, who's Christian, she's a reassuring person. Well, she may be forgetful at times, but she inspires me a lot. And she told me these three words: "Hindi kita pababayaan." I'm not going to abandon you. So I hold on to that, and she keeps on telling me to pray. That's
Yeah,
my
so there you go. You
greatest
see,
achievement.
you from that one memory of a positive experience wherein you were acknowledged, you were recognized, it made you think of a lot of, other positive memories. It triggered for you the realization that I have skills and I have people around me. So from just that one incident where you said, okay, I was recognized for what I was able to achieve, it had a multiplier effect. It made you think of other positive things. And
Yeah.
that, yeah, see, it was easier for you to flow and to feel like, okay, I have confidence that I can deal with situations because people are around me. I have communication skills. And that already
Yeah.
tells you that, yay, yeah, it's a
Yes.
celebration
And
of your win. And you
truly
can,
inspiring.
yeah, yeah, and you can create new memories. So from that experience
Yeah.
of the past, you now feel more empowered to move forward and to create new memories. I guess that's why we love taking photos. And one exercise that I do is
Yeah.
people keep photos on their cell
Yes.
phones, right? And when you don't
Yeah.
feel,
And on
yeah,
Facebook,
yeah, right. And when
just don't make it public.
yeah, when you just need to encourage yourself, sometimes you bring up a photo that's on your mobile phone and you take a look at it, and suddenly it brings a smile to your face, and you remember the good experiences that you've had, and you say, okay, I can power on, I can go through, continue to demonstrate my skills, continue to persevere in the situation, and I can begin to create new memories and do things that make you happy. Do you have your mobile phone right there with you right now, Jet? All right. What photo do you bring up when you want to create, a happy feeling? Yeah.
Uh, well, the exact event, the one I told you about, I still have the press release of it, and I don't.
Wow. All right. Yeah. There's also power in music. When we listen to music, that also helps us to lighten up and take away fears, because music has the power to transport us, to put our minds in a more positive mode. Our emotions are calmer when we listen to music that uplift us. And I've learned that it's fear actually that stops us. It's fear that freezes us and makes us, unable to bring out the best in us. When there's slowness to change, usually it means that there's a fear that's operating, probably fear of the new. Slowness to change usually means fear of the new, because the new is something that we're not comfortable with. And that's why we have that familiar saying, it's very difficult to move out of our comfort zones. The comfort zone is some place where we feel secure, it's familiar. And when that comfort zone needs to be expanded, we hesitate. We hesitate to move forward and we become slow to change, which now begins a backsliding process. So that instead of moving forward, we get stuck. And it's our fears that make us stay in a situation that may no longer be healthy, that inhibits us from achieving our goals. And we need to break through those fears, those apprehensions, so that we're able to move forward. Do you feel better staying with the same, with the comfortable, or are you one of those who get excited about breaking through and, hey, there's something new, I'm going to go for this? Or do you feel more comfortable if you're in a familiar situation?
I'm just in the middle because it all depends. If the change is positive, I go with it. But if the change is negative, if it's something that'll result in worse performance or worse, something worse, then I get rid of it.
Okay, yeah. What we really want to do is to stay productive, right? We want to make sure that we're
That's right.
going on, yeah, with productivity, being able to do a good job. That's why in the midst of change, right, growth and well-being is very important. Because when we feel whole, like I said, we feel energized, we feel capable, and we really are aware that we're making a difference, living with purpose, it allows us, it unlocks our capability, and we discover ways to deliver the results that are necessary in terms of producing achievements. It unleashes innovation and creativity, and we're able to operate from a sense of empathy and compassion for the people we work with, and that sustains performance. When we think of the organization, when you have this operating in that environment, it actually leads to a culture of resiliency where results orientation is the mindset of the people. And in today's world, digital transformation is what empowers us. I mean, even today's session is made possible by technology. So we will see more of transformative actions, I believe, in organizations as we leverage on technology. We also need constant communication, and that's how we are able to relay empathy and compassion to each other. And that all leads to building an employer brand as well as a personal brand that's built on trust, making ourselves credible ambassadors of the messages that we want to deliver. And this is what brings results. Then, it sustains performance. And we find out that, we just need to discern and exercise wisdom in terms of identifying what needs to be changed in a way that, makes people feel comfortable to move forward. I found out that in change management, if we're very clear about the results we want to achieve, not everything has to change. We just need to identify what are the things that needs to change. And the danger in this life is not really the situations that we face. It's really where we are, our mindset, and our perspective. The main dangers in this life are the people who want to change everything or nothing. That's why I like it, Jet, when you said you're somewhere in the middle, because yeah, you feel that you can discern what is good, what is positive, that needs to be, brought into reality, and that demands change, and what needs to be sustained and kept the same so that people are able to operate from a sense of comfort wherein things are stable even as the things around us are changing. Let me share my point of view. What is it that we really want at work?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the pay? Is it the sense of prestige? Pride in our achievements? What do people really want with work? When you say, hey, I've got a good job, what is it that you would say, this is a good job that I've got?
I'd like to admit that before it was just material and professional achievement that moved me to improve on my work, but now I think it's also more of how people treat me and how they care for me and give me advice. Well, even though there are others who are younger than I am, those who haven't majored in their MA, they haven't taken MA yet. I appreciate them because I see the genuine concern, and I don't look at the superficial. Okay, the superficial things in their words. I see the message and the care. Yeah, because before I
Correct.
would be so sensitive, but now I think I'm improving. Yeah,
I love
and
it that, yeah,
uh,
I love it that you mentioned how important it is for you, how people treat you, right? You see, you want an environment that is nurturing, right? That's exactly what you were talking about. When people treat you with appreciation, with care for how you are growing, that creates an environment that is nurturing. And that's what people really look for. For us, a good job is not just about pay or title or achievement. And the change that we seek to create in our organizations is helping people find purpose in their work in an environment that is nurturing. That is what we leaders must create. In the midst of a crisis where change is happening very fast, we create a sense of security when we are clear about the purpose that we are inviting people to join us in, because this will help them to stay focus on the positives rather than being overwhelmed by the threatening challenges and by the problems that they're facing. And when we're able to create a nurturing environment, it's creating a people experience wherein you feel that I'm cared for, I have a way by which I can continue to grow in this situation, and we are able to manage the change that we face together. We are able to move forward. We're able to find joys on a daily basis, even in small things. When we think of change management, it doesn't have to be a very complex proposition. It's really about helping people to achieve together, making sure that they feel good as they work, defining that direction, the vision by which we are moving towards, and creating that environment wherein people can feel that they are achieving, they are cared for, and this is a place where they can continue to grow, find their purpose in this life as well. That's what I'd call as leadership in change management.
Yeah. And I think this is what all companies need because, change is inevitable, but if we don't know how to accept change, we don't know how to discern what is useful from what is not, then an organization is bound to fail. Yeah, and if we keep on complaining, then we're not part of the change. We're the ones that need change.
Change is really something that starts within each one of us, brought about by that determination to live life with purpose, to maximize our potentials, to unleash our talents and our capabilities so that we are able to make a difference in the situation. Change is inevitable. It will always be part of life, and it need not always be a crisis. It can be simple changes because where there is growth, there will be change. Where there is progress, there will be change. And what we need is that mindset to lead ourselves so that we can lead others as well, serve as coaches, create an environment that is nurturing, and find that together we can achieve more, and together we can make this a better world. Thank you very much, Jet, allowing me time to share with you. I'm happy to
Yeah,
hear from your experiences as well. It's been a wonderful time. Thank you so much.
yeah. Thank you too, and remember everyone from Miss Angelina that when we change, we have to change for the better. And it is not just us that can change ourselves, but the people around us can inspire us to change. Remember that change is also a choice, because if you choose to change for the better, then you will be better. If you change for the negative, then you will be bitter in the end. Yes. So I hope that every one of you had a great time learning from Miss Angelina. In fact, it's just like being in a class where I get to learn something that is very useful and something that is worth my time and worth my liking. Yes, very much. I like it very much that I'm thinking of wanting to learn more about change management so that I can coach people on change. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Take care of yourself and keep moving forward. That's the only way to go, Jet. We all have to keep moving forward.
Yes, and I learned a lot from you, frankly, and before I used to be so sensitive and so pissed about people giving me feedback, but now I'm learning somehow, and it's lighter on my part. That's why I guess I feel better than before. Yeah, and I'm ready to face challenges.
Yeah. Feedback is really a gift. One thing I've learned, feedback is actually a gift. It's like, when you're together with friends and you go to a restaurant and have lunch or dinner together, and you are going to a meeting after that dinner or after that lunch, and you have a piece of broccoli stuck between your teeth. when people care about you, they will give you feedback and say, Jet, you know what?
Yeah.
You've got broccoli stuck between your teeth. And that tells you, okay, I gotta do something about this, right? So that I can be at my best when I make the presentation. And that's feedback.
That's right.
Because otherwise, when
Yes.
people don't give you feedback, wow, you're gonna embarrass yourself there, making a presentation with something green sticking out from between your teeth, right? So we can be sensitive towards feedback, and that's okay because, you know, we don't know whether it's something that will hurt us or something that will be helpful to us.
Mhm.
So I've come to understand when we think of feedback as a gift, whether it was something that hurt us at the time that it was delivered, or whether it was something that was delivered in a nice manner and therefore we felt good receiving it. We can't control the way people give us feedback. Some are gentle, some are harsh. But if we think of feedback as a gift, then it becomes something that moves us forward and helps us to keep growing.
Thank you so much, Jet, and thank you so much, Angelina. That was a truly great show. And next time, we will be having another guest, a great guest, who is Eric Del Castillo, who will be talking about the role of HR amidst uncertainties. So don't miss that. Remember, learning is a never-ending experience with unlimited vistas. And with that, on behalf of my fellow guests, Boom San Agustin and Rock Leo, this is Dino Santos saying good evening and God bless.
So lahat kami nangangarap kami maging regular employee, but that never happened. I have to improve my attitude. I have to keep learning. Mahirap po, pero I went out my comfort zone, and then blood, sweat, and tears, just like a success story ninyo, and which made me where I am now. It's all because making that simple decision.
Let me ask you, I'm sure you are experiencing now even beyond what you imagined, correct? Oh, see? Because once you start moving in the right direction, pataas, no? I mean, it will just go, it will propel you to greater heights. Even if it is not yet true, you think, you believe, then you act like it is true. It will come true.
You know you're already earning money.
These are the perceptions of the members.
So you're afraid to go out to your comfort zone.
It's from the media.
You should go out outside your comfort zone. So take a leap.
Good news normally are in the back pages. And if we are not wise enough, our thinking will be influenced by what we are bombarded on a daily basis.
And show them the right way. Because I believe everyone's here have a winning edge. Thank you.
Yes.